Beloved, I want you to hear me carefully this morning. So many are chasing after money, looking for it as if it's a distant treasure, always just out of reach. But what if I told you you don't have to chase it? What if I told you that you can become money? Yes, not just hold it, not just see it from afar, but become it, transformed from the inside out. I say to you again, don't look for money, become money. It's not about the dollars or the coins. It's about embracing a spirit of abundance, a mindset rooted in purpose, power, and promise. When you stop looking outward and start becoming what you seek, when you align your heart, your mind, and your faith, you unlock a treasure that no one can take away. Can you feel it? That stirring deep within, that calling to rise up and live as one who is not just waiting, but one who is fulfilled, rich in more ways than one. This is the moment for transformation, the hour where you step into a new identity, a life where abundance flows through you, not just to you. So open your heart now and prepare to receive, because this is more than money. It's the power to become all that you were created to be. Don't look for money, beloved. Become money. Beloved, there is something so important I want to share with you today. Something that will shift the very foundation of how you see your life and your purpose. You see, too many people spend their lives chasing after money like it's a fleeting shadow, always just beyond their grasp. They look for it in places that never satisfy, believing that if only they had more, everything would be all right. But I am here to tell you that the secret is not in the chasing. The secret is in the becoming. Hear me well, it's not enough to look for money. You must become money. Now you might be wondering, how can a person become money? How can we speak of such a thing without misunderstanding? But listen closely, because this is where transformation begins, in the understanding of who you are and who you were created to be. Money in this sense is not just paper or coins. It is not simply a number in a bank account or the promise of comfort. No, money represents something far deeper. Abundance, value, power, and influence. To become money means to embody these things within your very being. It means to shift from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance, from lack to plenty. It means to see yourself not as a beggar looking for scraps, but as a vessel of prosperity and blessing. This shift starts with your mindset. It starts with how you think about yourself and your worth. Because you see, the truth is this: what you believe about yourself will determine what you receive in your life. If you believe you are limited, if you see yourself as someone who must scramble and strive endlessly for money, then that will be your reality. But if you believe you are more than that, if you believe you are anointed, empowered, and designed to carry abundance, then you will begin to live differently. You must begin to speak to yourself the language of wealth, not just physical wealth, but the wealth of spirit, of purpose, of potential. Repeat after me: I am not chasing money. I am becoming money. I am a channel through which abundance flows. I am worthy of prosperity. I am filled with purpose that brings increase. When you declare these things with faith, your heart will begin to change. Your actions will align differently, and your life will start to reflect that new reality. And it's not just about changing your words, beloved. It's about changing your spirit, your very attitude toward what money represents. Money is a tool, a powerful tool that can bless your life and the lives of those around you. But you must first understand that you are not a tool waiting for money to fix you. You are the source of influence, the source of value. You have within you a creative power that, when awakened, will bring about increase not by chasing after it with desperation, but by becoming a magnet for it. Have you ever noticed how money seems to come easily to some people, while others struggle endlessly? It's not always about education or connections. Often, it's about a spiritual law, an invisible principle that rewards those who think like money, who embody abundance in their thoughts and deeds. When you live as if you are already abundant, the world responds to that vibration. Doors open, opportunities arise, and blessings multiply. This is not just a motivational idea. It is a truth grounded in the power of faith and the principles of life. When you stop looking for money as something outside yourself and instead realize that you carry the seed of wealth within you, everything changes. Your eyes open to new possibilities, your hands become instruments of creation, and your heart grows bold with expectancy. But I must warn you, this is not a path for the faint-hearted. It requires courage to stop chasing after the temporary and to embrace a permanent identity of abundance. It requires you to let go of fear and doubt, to rise above the noise of scarcity thinking, and to fix your gaze on who you are meant to be. It demands persistence to speak words of life over yourself every day until that truth takes root deep in your soul. And as you do this, you will find that you no longer measure your success by the size of your bank account alone. You will find joy in the knowledge that you are living your calling, that you are walking in your God, given authority to bring increase not just to yourself, but to others. You will begin to see money as a reflection of your inner abundance, a natural outflow of a spirit aligned with purpose and power. So I invite you today to start this journey, not by chasing after money, but by becoming money. Begin by renewing your mind with thoughts of plenty, by speaking words of faith over your life, and by stepping into the identity of one who is wealthy in spirit and in life. You were created for more than to scramble and strain for what feels just out of reach. You were created to embody abundance, to be a blessing, and to live a life overflowing with the richness of purpose and provision. Believe this in your heart. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not someone waiting for the world to give you what you need. You are a powerful, valuable, and worthy person with the capacity to become the very thing you seek. When you take hold of this truth, when you live it out in your daily walk, the world around you will change, and you will too. Remember, it all begins with a mindset. You cannot become what you do not believe you can be. So choose today to believe. Choose today to step into the truth that you are not a seeker, but a vessel. You are not a pursuer, but a magnet. You are not limited by lack, but filled with limitless potential. Hold these words close. Speak them often. Let them fill your spirit with new life and new hope. Because when you stop looking for money and begin to become money, you will find that abundance is not just a dream. It is your destiny. I want you to hear me carefully, because this is something many miss when it comes to understanding how to truly live in abundance. It's not about complicated strategies or endless formulas. It's about something much simpler and more profound. Your heart, your language, the way you speak to yourself and to the world around you. When we talk about becoming money, becoming abundant, the key is in the language we use. Not just the words we say outwardly, but the conversation we carry inside our minds and hearts every single day. You see, words are powerful, more powerful than many realize. They shape our reality, shape our identity, and shape the opportunities we attract. The words you speak to yourself about money, about your worth, about your life, they are the seeds that will grow into your experience. So if you want to change your reality, start with changing your language. Speak simply, speak clearly, speak with conviction, and most importantly, speak as if what you desire is already yours. Too many people get caught up in big, complicated speeches or fancy business talk, when all that's really needed is honest, heartfelt language, language that connects with your soul. You don't have to use grand words or clever phrases to attract abundance. What matters is that your words are true to you and filled with faith and hope. It's the simplicity of saying, I am worthy, I am enough, I am ready for what is mine. When you say these words, you begin to open the door for your spirit to catch hold of the truth. And this is where many stumble. They expect their language about money and abundance to be complicated or intellectual, but it's really about being real with yourself about what you need, about what you believe, and about what you are willing to receive. There's power in simplicity. There's power in a simple declaration that I am blessed, or I am walking in abundance. These aren't just words, they are declarations of faith, and faith moves mountains. Now, let me say this, it's not about pretending or speaking lies, it's about speaking truth, even if you don't see it fully yet. It's about planting a seed of truth in your heart and watering it daily with your words and your belief. When you start speaking the language of abundance, your mind begins to shift. Your eyes begin to see opportunities where before there were only obstacles. Your heart begins to beat with hope instead of fear. And your whole life starts to align with this new way of thinking. Remember, the way you talk to yourself about money matters. If you are constantly saying, I don't have enough, or money is hard to come by, your spirit hears that, and it begins to settle into scarcity. Your energy tightens, your mind worries, and you unconsciously close the door to abundance. But if you say, money flows to me easily and freely, or I am open and ready to receive all the blessings coming my way, then your spirit expands, your mind relaxes, and you begin to magnetize what you desire. Speak simply, but speak boldly. Speak as if what you want is already unfolding. Speak with the confidence of one who knows that the invisible is working on their behalf. And don't just say it once. Say it over and over until your spirit catches fire with the truth of it. Repetition is a powerful tool. It's how truth gets written on the tablets of our hearts. It's how faith is built. So don't be afraid to declare out loud, I am abundant, I am prosperous, I am more than enough. I want you to imagine for a moment the power that lies in this simple language. When you speak in this way, you are not just changing your mindset, you are shifting the very atmosphere around you. You are changing how you relate to money and to life itself. You are stepping into a new reality, one where abundance is not a struggle but a natural state of being. You are telling the universe, I am ready, and the universe begins to respond. This kind of language is accessible to everyone. You don't need a degree or a special skill to speak it. You just need a heart that is willing to believe, a spirit that is ready to receive, and a mouth that is ready to declare. Speak these simple words often and watch how they begin to shape your world. And as you do this, you will notice a new rhythm in your life. You will begin to move differently, act differently, and make decisions differently. Because your words create your reality, and your reality calls for a different kind of action. When you speak abundance, you begin to think abundance, and when you think abundance, you begin to act with confidence and purpose. There's a certain freedom that comes when you let go of complicated ideas about money and just speak plainly about your worth and your blessings. You begin to live from a place of peace and assurance rather than fear and scarcity. And when you live from that place, you become a beacon of hope and inspiration to those around you. So, I encourage you today to begin speaking simply and boldly. Speak the language of abundance with clarity and faith. Tell yourself every day that you are worthy, that you are blessed, that you are ready to receive. Speak it with the conviction of one who knows that their future is bright and their purpose is powerful. This is the language that will change your life. This is the language that will open doors you didn't even know existed. This is the language that will help you become what you seek, not just looking for money, but becoming money. Let me say this again with all the power I can gather for you today. Repetition is not just a tool. It is the lifeblood of transformation. When it comes to changing the way you think, the way you live, and the way you become, repetition is the heartbeat that keeps your faith alive and your vision clear. It is the steady drum that pounds in your spirit, reminding you over and over who you are meant to be. And when it comes to the truth of don't look for money, become money, repetition is what will carry you through the moments of doubt and weariness, bringing that truth from your mind into your reality. You see, the world is full of voices telling you to settle, to accept less, to just get by. Those voices whisper, sometimes shout, that money is hard to come by, that abundance is for others, but not for you. But when you take the truth that you are more than a seeker and begin to say it over and over again, something powerful happens. It sinks past the surface of your thoughts, past the chatter of fear, and it settles deep inside your heart. It becomes a foundation, an unshakable truth that no circumstance can undo. There is a reason the scriptures remind us to meditate on truth day and night. There is a reason wise people repeat affirmations and declarations with steady faith. It is because our souls need that constant nourishment of truth to grow. When you repeat, "I am becoming money," you are not simply speaking words. You are feeding your spirit a steady diet of hope, strength, and purpose. And that is what changes you. It's not always easy, beloved. Sometimes you might feel like the words don't mean anything, like you're just mouthing empty phrases. But I want you to hold on through those moments. Because even when your heart doesn't feel it yet, the repetition is working beneath the surface. It is softening the soil of your soul, preparing it for the seeds of abundance to take root. It is breaking down the walls of doubt and fear, brick by brick. Think about how habits are formed in every area of life. You do not become skilled at something overnight. You practice again and again. The same is true for your spiritual and mental transformation. Your mind and spirit need to be trained, and repetition is the training ground. The more you say it, the more your spirit will come alive with the possibility of abundance. The more you declare it, the more your confidence grows. The more your faith rises, and the less room there is for fear and limitation. Repetition creates rhythm and expectation. It sets your soul on a path of expectancy, so that when opportunities come, you are ready to receive them. It creates a kind of spiritual vibration, a frequency that matches what you desire. When you repeat, "I am abundant," or "I am becoming money," you align yourself with the reality you want to live in. This alignment is powerful because it draws to you the people, the ideas, the chances that you need to grow into that reality. And don't be surprised if, as you repeat these truths, doors begin to open that you never expected. You might find yourself thinking creatively about money and opportunities. You might start seeing solutions where before you only saw problems. That is the power of repetition, quietly, steadily reshaping your mind and your life. I want to encourage you to make repetition a daily practice. Say your declarations in the morning, so your day begins with hope and purpose. Say them in the evening, so your spirit rests in truth and peace. Say them when fear tries to whisper lies to you. Say them when you feel weak and unsure. Keep speaking life over yourself until the words become part of who you are, until they echo in your heart without effort. This is the spiritual discipline that builds faith and transforms identity. It's not flashy or dramatic, but it's powerful beyond measure, and the more you do it, the more you will notice the subtle shifts inside. Your mindset becomes clearer, your spirit stronger, your focus sharper. You become a person who no longer chases after money because you have already stepped into the reality of abundance. Repetition also helps you overcome the negative programming that might have been spoken over you for years. Maybe you grew up hearing that money is evil or that you don't deserve to be wealthy. Maybe you were taught to believe that hard work never leads to success. These lies can be deeply ingrained, but repetition of truth can wash them away. Every time you repeat the truth about abundance and your worth, you are replacing those old lies with a new story, a story of hope, empowerment, and destiny. And here's a beautiful thing. Repetition doesn't just change you inwardly. It changes how others see you too. When you consistently speak with confidence about your purpose and your prosperity, people begin to believe it too. They start to see you as someone who is on a different path, someone who is not limited by circumstance, but empowered by faith. That kind of reputation opens doors and creates opportunities that would otherwise remain closed. So I ask you today, will you commit to this practice of repetition? Will you allow yourself to speak these words over and over until they take root and blossom in your life? Will you make it a habit, a rhythm, a steady drumbeat in your soul that reminds you of who you are and who you are becoming? Because I promise you, repetition is more than just saying words. It is a spiritual act of creation. It is the way you call forth the reality that matches your deepest desires. It is how you become the person you were always meant to be. And remember, you are not alone in this. Many have walked this path before you and have found that when they committed to speaking truth over themselves every day, their lives began to change. They stepped out of scarcity and into plenty, from fear to faith, from wandering to destiny. So keep repeating, beloved. Keep declaring the truth that you are becoming money, that you are abundant, that you are worthy of all the blessings coming your way. Let repetition be the song your spirit sings until it becomes the reality you live. There is a unique power that lives in the way you modulate your voice, how you pause, how you soften, how you raise your words up high and then bring them down low again. It might seem like a small thing, but believe me, the way you say something can make all the difference between a message that lands like a whisper and one that roars with life and conviction. When we talk about becoming money, about stepping into abundance, the way you deliver your words, the cadence, the rhythm, the pauses, matters just as much as the words themselves. When you speak with intention, when you use dramatic pauses, you give space for the truth to settle in the hearts of those listening, and in your own heart too, you allow the weight of your message to be felt, not just heard. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause and let silence speak for a moment. Let the truth hang in the air like a promise waiting to be claimed. That pause, that quiet moment, creates expectancy. It builds tension. It invites the spirit to move, to breathe life into what you are declaring. Think about how life itself moves. There are moments of rest and moments of motion. There are breaths taken in deep and breaths released with force. When you mirror this natural rhythm in your speech, you create connection. Your words no longer just pass over ears. They reach down and touch the soul. They become an experience, not just information. And when you want to inspire people to believe they can become money, to believe they can embody abundance, this is exactly the kind of experience they need. You don't have to shout to be heard, but there are times when raising your voice just a little, when emphasizing a key word or phrase, can stir the spirit. It grabs attention and signals to the listener that something important is being said. It's like a spark in the dark, a flash of light that cuts through the noise and awakens something inside. And then, right after that, you can bring your voice down again, softer and more intimate, as if you are sharing a sacred secret, inviting the listener to lean in closer and catch the hope you are planting in their heart. This ebb and flow, the rise and fall of your voice, is what gives your message life. It's what turns words into an invitation that says, "Come, step into this truth with me, walk with me into a new way of being." When you talk about becoming money, it's not just a statement, it's a call to transformation, and that call needs to be felt deeply. Your modulation becomes the vehicle that carries that call to the listener's spirit. Don't underestimate the power of your pacing either. Sometimes we rush through our words because we want to get to the end or because we're nervous, but slowing down, really savoring each word, allows the message to sink in. It allows people to breathe it in, to chew on it, to make it their own. When you slow down, your words gain weight. They become deliberate and purposeful, and that kind of speaking honors the importance of what you're sharing. It tells your listeners and yourself that this is not casual talk but sacred truth. Imagine saying, "Don't look for money," slowly with a gentle emphasis on each word. Pause just enough for that thought to sit and breathe. Then follow it with "become money," spoken with growing passion, with rising energy, as if you're releasing a powerful truth into the world. That contrast, soft and strong, slow and fast, creates tension and release. It creates an emotional journey that moves the heart and mind, and there is something deeply spiritual about this kind of speaking. It mirrors the way we experience life, sometimes quiet and still, sometimes loud and vibrant. When you learn to use your voice this way, you become a channel, an instrument through which spirit flows. You no longer just speak words, you release power. You invite the Holy Spirit to work through you, to touch hearts, to ignite faith. This is why great speakers and leaders use modulation, cadence, and pauses, because they know that it's not just what you say, but how you say it that changes lives. It's the difference between a statement that fades quickly and a truth that lingers, that burns, that transforms. And here's the beautiful part: this is something you can learn. You don't have to be born with a perfect voice or a natural talent for speaking. You can cultivate this skill. You can practice breathing deeply before you speak, pausing at just the right moments, and letting your voice rise and fall like waves on the shore. You can learn to listen to the spirit within you as you speak, allowing it to guide the rhythm and the tone. When you do, you'll find that your words take on a new life. They become seeds of hope, planted deeply in the hearts of those who hear them. And not only that, your own heart will catch fire with the truth you are proclaiming. Speaking this way creates a sacred cycle. You speak with power, the spirit moves, hearts open, and your own faith is strengthened. So as you prepare to step into the truth of "don't look for money, become money," remember that your voice is part of the message. It's the vessel that carries your heart to others. Use it with intention, use it with passion, use it with the rhythm and flow that brings your words alive. Because when your words are spoken with this kind of life and energy, they don't just inform, they transform. They don't just tell, they invite, and they don't just move lips, they move mountains. There is a beautiful and powerful dynamic that happens when you begin to speak your truths with confidence, but then you back those words up with action. You see, words alone can inspire and ignite a flame, but it is the steps you take afterward that fan that flame into a roaring fire. Becoming money, stepping into abundance, is not just about speaking affirmations or dreaming bigots, about showing up every day and walking the path with courage and persistence. Your faith and your declarations find their fullest expression in the things you do. When you speak with conviction, when you say, "I am abundant," or "I am becoming money," those are promises you make to yourself. But promises are not just spoken, they are lived. Every choice you make, every decision you take, either supports or contradicts the reality you are declaring. If your words say one thing, but your actions say another, your spirit knows the difference. The journey to abundance is one where words and actions walk hand in hand, each strengthening the other. The truth is, action brings clarity. It shows you what you truly believe and where your heart really is. Sometimes when you take a step forward, you discover that your fear was greater than your reality. Sometimes you find that the obstacles you imagined were not as big as you thought. Action reveals the truth beneath the surface, and it aligns you with your destiny. It breaks the cycle of hesitation and doubt, and sets your feet firmly on the path of becoming. You don't have to have everything figured out before you take the first step. The important thing is to start, no matter how small that first step might be. It could be opening a savings account, applying for a new opportunity, learning a new skill, or simply making a plan. Each action is like a brick laid in the foundation of your new life. And as you keep building, the structure becomes stronger, more real, more undeniable. The people who truly become abundant are not the ones who wait for the perfect moment or the perfect idea. They are the ones who act despite uncertainty, who move forward even when the road is unclear. Their confidence comes not from knowing every answer, but from knowing they are on a journey and they are willing to take the necessary steps. That willingness, that courage, is what turns words into reality. I want to remind you that your actions don't have to be grand gestures or monumental achievements. Sometimes the most powerful actions are the small, consistent ones, showing up to work with a grateful heart, paying attention to the details, managing your resources wisely, being generous even when you feel you have little to give. These actions build momentum. They create a rhythm of faithfulness that attracts greater opportunities and blessings. There's a story in every life about a moment when a single step changed everything. It might have been a decision to invest time in learning, to seek help, to start a new venture, or to simply say yes to an opportunity. These moments often feel ordinary at the time, but in hindsight, they mark the turning points, the moments when a person stopped looking for money and started becoming money. Action also teaches resilience. It teaches you to keep going when the first or second or 10th try doesn't produce the results you hoped for. Because becoming money is not always a straight line. It is a journey of persistence, of rising after falls, of adjusting your course and trying again. The person who becomes money is one who refuses to give up, who keeps moving forward even when the path is difficult, because they know their destiny is greater than their present circumstances. When your actions align with your words, you begin to create a powerful testimony, not just for others, but for yourself. You begin to see evidence of your faith in the everyday moments. You catch glimpses of progress and growth that encourage you to keep going. And that testimony becomes a source of strength when doubt creeps in, reminding you that you are on the right path. I also want to speak to the importance of surrounding yourself with a community that supports your vision. Action is not always a solitary journey. Sometimes taking steps forward means reaching out, asking for help, finding mentors or allies who encourage you to keep moving. The people who walk with you on this journey can uplift your spirit and help you stay focused on your goals. They can remind you of your worth when you forget it, and they can celebrate your victories with you. So, as you consider the truth that you are not here just to look for money, but to become money, remember this. Your words are powerful, but your actions give those words life. Faith without works is incomplete. Your declarations are seeds, and your actions are the water and sunlight that help them grow. Without action, your words remain just dreams. But with action, your words become the roots of a reality that will sustain you. Taking action is not always easy. It requires courage to step into the unknown, to risk failure, and to face the challenges that come with growth. But it is also the most empowering thing you can do. It puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. It gives you agency over your future, and it proves to yourself that you are more than a dreamer. You are a doer, a creator, a person who is actively shaping their destiny. So start where you are. Take the first step today, however small it may be. Trust that with each step you are becoming more aligned with the abundance you seek. And know that this journey, this process of speaking and acting, is the pathway to becoming money, not just looking for it.